What is up, guys? It's Avon Doom coming at you from Queens, New York. Today we have a good topic for you today.
It's about Marvel and their problems with social justice warriors. And on top of that, their problems with online community who heckle them constantly. We're not going to name too many other YouTube shows, but it was kind of fun watching it and hearing about the alt-right against DC, hearing about Marvel having a fight with retailers at Comic-Con. And we're also going to talk about our misadventure at New York Comic Con. It was great.
Yeah, it was great. That was a lot of fun.
Hope you people bought some at New York Comic Con.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Comic Con was fun. I always like going to Comic Con because I like to just walk around. Like I don't have to buy anything to have a good time. It's a lot of fucking walking and your feet hurt after a while, but it's a good experience. It's fun. But there wasn't a lot of stuff. Like when we would go to Comic Con like a couple of years ago, you'd go
2009.
Yeah, you would go and you'd buy you'd go there to find cheap stuff, stuff for good prices. I bought a cool Dr. Doom statue for $30.
Yeah,
that was
one of those
$70 or $80.
Story ones.
Yeah, which was really cool. But that kind of stuff wasn't really there. There wasn't a lot of. I mean, at least for any of us, we bought some stuff.
I bought a CGC book.
Yeah,
I got one cool Super Scroll bust, but there wasn't much to look at. But that's this is a mass media con now, so we're used to it. But it was a great opportunity to hear about all the fights and let's start off in the beginning. I heard about some of these YouTube shows talking about how a Facebook group from Marvel where writers would team up and find out who the YouTubers are so that they can harass them at Comic-Con. And somebody from a book called Hawaiian Dick was going to be made into a show with Johnny Knoxville wanting to go up and fight with this guy. And I thought that was hilarious because, a lot of people hide behind the internet and hide their faces. We're not like that. You know what we look like. You can always find us. You always fight with us. You always got something to say. But comic book writers is the same way. You wouldn't know what they look like if they went up to you and kicked you in the ass, literally at Comic-Con.
That is very true. That is very true.
You would think just an old fat man just kicked you.
Yeah.
And then you'd feel bad for them.
And even either way, I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know how much comic book writers make. I'm assuming it's a decent amount.
Not enough to not give a shit.
Yeah,
that's the honest truth. Not enough to not give a shit.
Yeah,
because if I make enough money, I make enough money doing what I do, and I don't stress little things here and there from people I deal with every day. Imagine if your fan base harassed you the way that these guys did. And then they have supporters that are just as good. Because Dan Slott had a fight with a bunch of them, and it's it's consistent. It's like every day, and now it's he's trying supposedly he's tanking Spider-Man on purpose for it. But let's start from the beginning.
We gotta get into that at some point.
Let's start at the beginning where it starts off with Comic-Con had Marvel has a retailers breakfast, and all the retailers in New York go there. And I asked a few of them because some of them don't go at all. Because if you want to know something, there's not that many retailers of comic books in New York City. We live in fucking Metropolis meets Gotham meets New York City.
Yeah. You'd figure you'd figure even though I'm saying this just because I'm from here, but you'd figure that the center of the universe would have a shit ton of this stuff, but it really, really doesn't.
No,
there's only a handful. You have
and most of the best retailers we deal with don't go to these conventions. I'm sure it's more Long Island. Actually, you're right. I didn't even think about it. It's mostly Long Island retailers that fall.
Yeah.
Because I didn't hear nothing wrong from our local stores in Astoria. That we go to Astoria, Woodhaven, Brooklyn. There's a lot of there's Vinyl Fantasy's a good one. That they don't go that often to them, but she was the girl there was telling me she was she went just to see the fucking melee, but she represents a different group of people than the other writers, the other owners of those retailers in, let's say, Long Island or Staten Island or something farther out. Their fan base is supposedly guys like me, white dudes in their mid-30s. I just turned 33. So.
Yeah. So tell the whole world, man. All right, well.
I have a wish list on Amazon. But anyway.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get free shit here.
So let's
anyway,
so let's get into what
let me go
the
to
whole
details.
Argument was about.
They were complaining that there's two things. The first thing, more simpler, is that their incentive coverage cost way too much. They were paying 170% of whatever the original orders were
for those what is it?
Lenticular covers that are garbage. They're garbage. I grabbed
what was garbage about them?
You could see one lenticular cover, but I had no idea what the other lenticular cover is supposed to be because that's the whole point of it. Let's say it's on this side, and you're supposed to be able to see what's on this side. It's more like this side
and then half. You
no,
have. That's what I
there
saw.
was no half.
What?
You wish there was half. X-Men Gold, I still don't know what's underneath. And then you open it.
Was that bad?
Yeah, it's a cheaply done. It's cheaply run because the Superman one, where it's the Hope, were fucking awesome. They were well done. They were planned out
DC
like
did it well.
6 months ago, probably.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back to DC and that Superman run because the Oz effect was a big deal with the alt-right, which you know you can eat shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to what we were talking about. That was one of the problems is that they to get those lenticular covers they had to buy hundreds hundreds of books a month.
They had to but I don't even think they would have to over order to be qualified to even get the lenticular covers. So in some cases it would be 170% more than what they even need in the store.
And supposedly like you hear from like all these like white dudes on the internet, because I'm gonna start being like straight up about this. I'm gonna say some real fucked up shit about a lot of people and a lot of places and a lot of everything. Because I grew up reading comics since I was like 5, and I'm 33, so I got a long history of meeting people and getting to know people. But I also live at the epicenter of the world, where everybody's from here. Doesn't matter that you will meet somebody from anywhere, no matter how weird of a country, you will meet them here, and they're awesome because that's everybody all over the world is the most optimistic person if they came here and took a chance in this country. True. You got to remember, you can go back there, you can go to Ireland and meet people who are bartenders for life because their dad was a bartender and their granddad was a bartender, something like that. I'm only using it as a stereotype because that's a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I'm talking about a way of life. Anyway, but in the comic book stuff, they got into an argument after the lenticular coverage about social justice warriors in comics. I'm pro a lot of that stuff because I like some characters I'm really for, and some characters I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah, because you're not worried about so much of like when they complain about, all right, you changed this person to X ethnicity.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because I've been reading comics for so long.
Yeah, the thing is like what's important is like how they became it and if it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
like Jane Foster became Thor, but that made sense to me because Jane Foster's been the same character from like 30 years, 40 years. I should.
Where did she come from in the first place?
She's she is Don Blake, who's Thor girlfriend in the real life, and she developed cancer, and she became worthy of being Thor. And Thor was unworthy, which is another series, which is not bad. I'm going to go into why I like that series and why I love Unworthy Thor, and I love Thor from what is being written.
Yeah.
My other book. Let me talk about what's. My favorite other book is Sam Wilson as Falcon. Falcon as Captain America. Yeah. Because Captain America, I always got mad years ago when Ed Brubaker's run of Winter Soldier became Captain America, and Bucky Barnes is not Captain America. To me, he didn't deserve it. But the hero in training to become Captain America was Falcon all along. Yeah. And Rick Remender wrote a pretty good run on it. The last one I haven't checked out, but my big problem is that with these books, only these ones I'm going to talk about. The other ones I'm going to mention in a second, the ones I have a real problem with that I don't like or what I like about them. Both these books need to be on one continuous run of Captain America, one continuous run of Thor. Not separate stories, and now they're going back to original numbering. Because when Sam Wilson Captain America was out, so was Steve Rogers Captain America. It's 2 series, two of them
parallel
with number 1 issues, and then they would be repeated from 2013, 2015, 2016 as another number 1, another number 1, another number 1.
It starts getting convoluted like after a while.
I'm going to use this trade. I'm going to use a trade paperback that we're going to use for another part of the show to describe what comic book collectors want. This is the New Mutants one. Look at this. All these books as a collection. This is volume 1. Cool. Yeah. This is 1 through 12 of New Mutants and 8 other issues from other stuff. 8 other issues. Remember this. This is what comic fans really want. All comic fans is that completion of stories in one continuous run. To feel like I've been reading the same story for years.
Yeah, bro. You reach like 700, 800. Like
Thor's up to 700. And they're returning the numbering and the legacy.
Yeah.
So supposedly they were fighting with them because they were like, you keep repeating number 1s. You put movies out with a male Thor, and then when people come to a movie theater, comic shop, they don't have a Thor book to buy. And it's hard to explain which number one because there's so many number ones where they
Which is totally the opposite of what you would like. It doesn't even make sense. It's like the comic books are running counter to the movies now. Like it doesn't even make that's so stupid. You're using the original characters in the movies, and then you're expecting people to come and be like, "Oh shit, this is awesome! All right, I'm gonna come in and buy a comic book." But then there's no comic book that matches the original thing, which makes no sense.
But here's where I'm gonna tell you where I hate comic books right now. I hate Captain Marvel. I hate
Which one? The Carol Danvers or Miss Marvel?
No, Miss Marvel I like in some degree, but not because of myself. It's because I'll tell you Miss Marvel in a second.
Yeah, go on.
Captain Marvel because they made her a militant sociopath to some degree, where she was like the worst of everybody. She was the worst. She was a villain, being a hero and crushing people in Civil War. She ruined She-Hulk. Hulk got killed.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because she like you got to remember like they were setting her up for this great fall, and it was like a Knight's Tale where she's supposed to redeem herself later on in this. She was like 2 years later. They never did nothing with her. They introduced Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, I think.
I can't stand that character. So
I understand that, and a lot of people hate it, but
it's mostly because of the character design. I can't stand the character design.
I like the outfit. I like the character. I like all that stuff. And there's a reason for why I like it, and it has nothing to do with who I am. It has to do with people who read them. I'm ethnic Albanian, so I have a huge part of my family is Muslim. I have relatives who wear the headgear, the scarf. I always forget what they're called.
Yeah, the hijab and the
because Albanians also before lived in an atheist
Actually,
state.
I've never seen Albanians wearing like the traditional.
I don't, but some of them have become very religious, and my mother's side is Bosnian, so they're really religious, and I'm really happy to see like some character be representative of them, where they can read their story. You know what I mean?
They identify with the character.
You need representation of everybody in comics.
Character,
And the fact that Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, became Captain Marvel was excellent, and then a new Miss Marvel came, which I'm totally for. I love that. Like your character's still there, but not being replaced. Same reason I like Miles Morales, Spider-Man, because he didn't replace Peter Parker like Brian Michael Bendis wanted. He just became his own character.
Oh, he wanted to replace.
Where Peter Parker's not black.
That's where the trouble runs in. That's why
you're insulting a lot of black African Americans, Jamaican Americans who read those books because they don't identify with the character as his ethnicity. They identify with the character because they like Peter Parker because they grew up with Peter Parker. I was watching a documentary about I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names sometimes, so I apologize to the scholar on there because he was a professor of college, and he was like, I was reading a comic book of Spider-Man, and he went to a school where black kids went to school because when I was a kid, you didn't have that kind of races intermingle, and he was like, I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. And I was like, you're insulting that guy, you're insulting everybody. I'm insulting him a little bit by not remembering his name, so I apologize.
Yeah, because to do it was like kind of against the status quo.
Yeah, and that's what Marvel did, and then Marvel, to like save their own ass with like their own social justice warrior books, where they made everybody had a problem with Hulk too becoming an Asian kid named Amadeus Choi. I didn't read the book, but I know that it's very first appearance heavy, like first appearance of Weapon H, which is Weapon Hulk, first appearance of another character, and then like and the funny part is like everybody bitches about everything except Spider-Gwen. The blonde-haired girl, Spider-Girl.
But that's because it's an amazing design. I love that.
The design is good, but that's a new character.
And
a new world and a new everything, which I like.
The
other thing, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of storylines I don't like, and most of them involve changing characters that are old. Like Iceman became a gay character.
That's for me. That's where the problem begins. Because once you start altering classic original characters, people are gonna have a problem with it. It doesn't matter what you do to them. It has nothing to do, like if they change Iceman to a black guy, like nobody's gonna bitch because the guy's a black guy. They're gonna bitch because this is retarded. This is not what the character has been for ages. And it's hard to stomach like a character that's been around for that long for you to change it so drastically. And just because people complain about it doesn't mean that they're complaining about it because he's black. Like that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's because you're changing a tradition, a character that's been around for so long, and then people are gonna be uncomfortable with that because you're just changing it. It's like if I went if I went and like redid like Homer's Odyssey and then I change all the fucking characters to like random ethnicities, people are gonna be like, this is fucking retarded. Like a lot of people can stomach it, it's fine, but there's people that are not going to. They're gonna be like, this is stupid. You're just doing it for no reason. That's not the origin of the story. Like for me, in my opinion, I would prefer make new characters that are different races that are dope. If you make the characters really good, you make good character design, people are gonna like it. It doesn't fucking matter.
Jessica Jones, there was a good character.
Yeah, like perfectly, like Mr. Terrific. I love the character. I love the character design. I love that character. He's so badass. He's just a cool character in general. I don't give a shit whether he's black, white, or Asian. Like he's a cool character. The thing is that most of it is
a black.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's a dope character. Like don't focus so much on like if you're gonna make a new character, don't change. They're just what they're doing is they're using the popularity of a classic character like like let's say Captain America, just for the sake of argument. Like even though Falcon, it makes sense. Like,
For me,
you're gonna take like you're taking the popularity of a character. You're taking the popularity of a character to try to inject your, I don't know, I'd say political bias or whatever progressive leaning that you have, whatever it is, to ride the coattails of the popularity of that character, and then people are not buying it. So instead what you're doing is, at least for me, it means like you're kind of saying, all right, if we make a brand new character who's black, nobody's gonna buy it.
Yeah. You're insulting the chance that you can put out a
book. Like you're kind of being racist in that way.
That's why Image is doing so good, because they're putting out books that just knew everything. New heroes, new storylines.
That's it, man.
You gotta give it a chance. The problem is, like, I think Marvel is always gonna be that fucking bullet point, because DC is not doing any of this. They're not doing any of this.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah,
DC's the only problem they've had is that Superman stops a white redneck from shooting immigrant family in Oz Effect.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, "Why are you stopping me?" And he was like, "You're not gonna hurt innocent people," because Superman's a good guy, and it's bad when it gets on the Young Turks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Once they've got like a hold of something like that, they'll twist it into whatever the hell.
Yeah, of course, and it ruins a good comic. And make up new characters, give new characters a try.
That's it.
There's writers out there waiting to get hired, and you're hiring people. You know what it bothers me? This is the hands-on truth. You're trying to make social justice warrior style comics with people like Dan Slott. He is whiter than milk bread.
Yeah, but that's always that. No, that seems to be like
new
what
writers,
is really,
give new
really
people
common.
chances. Yeah, a lot of people had problems with the last Black Panther writer, because I can't pronounce the guy's name. But he Takahashi.
Don't bother. Just they'll know. They can find it out. Figure it out.
I mean, his books, and they say a lot of racist stuff in there, and I didn't read it because I'm more of I like Christopher Priest run on there. I like Reginald Hudlin's run on there. Hudlin, I think it is. I'm sorry.
The thing is that like
I like older comics from guys that you didn't know who they were. You just knew that their name meant that book is going to be decent. Yeah. It wasn't until years later that I knew Reginald Hudlin did Boomerang. Yeah. And other films, and I just like his books.
You can't get guys that want to inject their
I
want to call I don't I don't have a problem with like political episodes and like where you're like kind of asking the question of X, Y, and Z. Like that's why I always like Star Trek. They always ask like these crazy questions where you're like, fuck. Like perfect example, Data, when he goes on trial and he's like, is he really life or not? Like that. I like stuff like that. But like when you start injecting the ideology inside the comic book and it's only completely on one side, that's when you have a problem. Because then you're gonna alienate fans that are like, this is fucking retarded. I can see right through it. You know what I'm saying? Like people are gonna notice. True. Comic book fans are not stupid. Like
and then they say they have good digital sales, but they don't want to release the numbers.
Really? Is that?
And then people hate Squirrel Girl, and like, you know what?
Oh my God, that's a perfect example.
No. In comics, there's always been good joke books, and I think that's supposed to be one of them. Personally, I prefer her over Deadpool because I'm tired of all the Deadpool books.
Oh my God, yeah. No, I like just a. Oh my God, the artwork is grotesque on that. I can't.
No, it is. Like I'm not a big fan of it, but like still, it's people collect them.
Yeah.
People love it, and let it be put out there. And if they pick it up, pick it up. If it has poor sales, then you cancel something. But you don't cancel it, reboot it to just get that number one issue.
Yeah,
money.
that's what they keep doing. If they keep doing that.
Yeah, and you got to stop with that. The thing is, though, it's like, and then on top of that, you're making celebrities out of fucking straight loser garbage cans from the internet.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
I gotta
true.
be like straight up.
That's totally
dudes that hide
exactly
behind their screen, keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
You know, like either it's racist or it doesn't work.
Yeah,
or this, that, smackety schmackety.
Yeah.
Listen, man, folks. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you're into, or anything like that. If you like reading comics, read the books. I always tell people to check out something. The reason I always like books that are like number 300 and whatever is because then I was like, oh, there's a bunch of books beforehand. I can look it up. And then some people want to start over at one. It's not true. It's really a solicitor's market when it comes to stuff like that. And like that's the comic books problem with that.
Spectators market.
Spectators. So when I said solicitors,
no, you said solicitors.
I meant spectators market. Fuck those pieces of garbage too. And if you got a problem with that, you know where we are, man. We're in Queens. It's not that big.
Yeah.
We'll be at every comic convention. No matter if it's WinterCon, EternalCon, New York Con, Big Apple Con, the con down the block, the con across the street, the one we're going to have in my backyard. You know what we look like, man. We're big dudes. You can't miss us. If you want to talk about comics, we'll talk shit with you for hours and like talk about the best stuff. Check out this and all that stuff. And what I love about it and what do you love about it. And I hate hearing, but I also hate hearing that there's racism and everything. Because at this point, there's not.
Yeah.
There's not. You cannot tell me that 79% of the Marvel comics it has women working below executive level, and it's not fair because it's not all women of color. Like there's plenty of women in this world, and you know what I mean. Like they're just qualified. Now you have a problem with what color the woman is that works there, and like
that's yeah.
And then
that's
59% of the executives are women too, but they're like, oh, not enough of them women of color. Listen, now you're just like. That's choosing what to fight with people.
That's a deeper like that. That's like a deeper. You just touched on something that's like there's something really deep that goes on there. That's like it's a part of identity politics called intersectionality. And then because what happens is now they were complaining that there isn't enough women, right? Now they're going to complain that there isn't enough black women. Then when there's enough black women, they're going to complain that there isn't enough Asian women. Well, then and it keeps going on, and then you keep chopping everything up.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
And here's the thing, you know what happens with that? You put a fucking Emperor Cheeto
and that's what happens. Yeah, it's a reaction.
You put a villain in the White House.
Yeah.
And then you make Captain America a Nazi. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yo, there's a pretty good chance. Like my family history is very muddled. But the invasion of Albania from Italy, and then freaking the Nazis of Germany. Yeah. It's a pretty good chance a lot of my relatives died killing Nazis, and I do not see a problem with going out like that again. And the fact that people refer to themselves as alt-right and it's American Nazis, and they get a problem. Well, we're a minority, me and him, and like we're minorities, like in this country. I'm supposed to be the majority. Like I'll tell you what, he's Puerto Rican. And being Puerto Rican in America right now is a real problem because everybody's being an asshole with the hurricane in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And fuck you for being like that because people are starving. And they need food, they need gas, they need generators, they need electricity, they need all that stuff. I'm a foreigner. I'm first generation. I'm like off the boat. You know what I mean? I hit my head on the pier when we fell off at Ellis Island. I'm joking on that one, but this country is made up of the most optimistic people. Puerto Rico is a colony of America. Mm-hmm. And then if you ever, and in comic books, if you write good stories, people will read them. If you make up new characters and it's a good storyline, people will read them. If you turn Captain America into a Nazi, you're gonna have a problem with all of us. Because he wasn't created by Marvel. He was created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, and that dude is like the heart and soul of comic books.
Two like fucking super Jewish ass dudes, man. Like that's think
about
how like really gonna make Captain America a fucking Nazi.
Because he's blonde hair, blue eyed, and they did that on purpose. Because I met Joe Simon years ago at Comic-Con. Nobody knew who he was, and it was really weird. And it was really great to meet him because a friend of ours, her dad was his attorney, and he was like, "Yeah, we're here with him. You want to meet him?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" I showed him my Captain America tattoo. We talked a lot of shit.
What an awesome photo!
Yeah, I have a great photo. If you want to check it on our Twitter, on Billy Bomb's Twitter, like I always have it posted on there, and then also my Facebook.
Yeah.
Billy Bombs, everything.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I always post everything.
Like that's the thing. Like you'll have like reactionary shit. Like perfect example. Have you heard of Patriotica? It's this guy that's doing like a fun GoFundMe thing to write a comic.
GoFundMe. More like go fuck your father. You want to borrow money from me, bro? You better have something for real.
Yeah, it's like a GoFundMe or it's one of those. It's like one of those, and he's like he's like one of those guys that he's like, dude, every fucking comic book is just bashing America. I'm so tired of it. So he made a character called Patriotica, and she basically looks like Power Girl, blonde hair, blue eyed, giant tits, covered in like stars and stripes, red, white, and blue. And he's like, oh, you
But
know,
Medusa was taken, right? Made in USA.
yeah, I guess so, yeah. And so he was like,
My eye went like all the way over here.
yeah. So he was like, I'm so tired of this shit. So I made the most over the top, pro-American, fucking like superhero ever because I'm so tired of like everything. Captain America's a fucking Nazi. America's a bunch of racists.
Nick Spencer could bitch all day. Even today, they were bitching how he got off Twitter or something like that because of that. The guy who wrote the Secret Empire. 20,000 copies, 40 different incentive covers. How is there a fucking Secret Empire Omega 1, but there's not a number 2?
That's a fucking problem, man. When I heard about that, I was like,
They just put the 1 on there just to be like, fuck you. Because there's Age of Apocalypse Alpha and Omega, which is the beginning and end of the stories. But there's no number 1s on them. There's not like, there might be number 2, and nobody's going to buy it anyway.
It was just a stupid little... I would say, like, that's a fucked up thing to do. Like, oh, yeah, this is number 1. All right, we're going to buy this. There's not going to be a number 2. No. With practices like that, you're really... Yeah, with a fucking shitty, like, practice like that, you really think people are not eventually just going to be like, yo, fuck off? Like, I'm gonna go buy, like, DC Comics. Or, you know what? Fuck comics in general. I'm going to go fucking play video games. How about that? Fuck you. Like, that's the shit. Like, people are gonna get.
You can't even watch reviews and stuff. Like, I like watching arguments. I like hearing about stuff. I'm a big fan of one of my favorite shows on here is NerdSync on
that's
YouTube.
A good show.
NerdSync is great because there's no bias on there. There's just a good show.
He just
Comics
Explains
another one.
Comics Explained is great. I love that guy, man.
But then I can't listen to other guys that I see. Like, oh, check out this guy, and you're like, this guy's a piece of shit. This guy in the bottom is a piece of shit.
Yeah,
and if I saw him at Comic-Con, I'd follow him around and fucking pick a fight with him too. Only difference is, like, I fucking punched like a gorilla. You ever been punched by a 290-pound man? I ain't that tall.
I haven't been. No, I haven't.
Don't worry, man. Next time you burn my toast. But like, it's like that. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, you shouldn't be ashamed of who you are. We all come from somewhere. Like, we're not gonna parade Stan Lee out here and try and be like how Marvels are very diverse. Marvel is diverse. It's just they're not emphasizing on what the diversity is. They're making it up as they go along.
They have to make sure that the quality of the books and the quality of the stories, no pun intended, trumps the diversity. Like they're putting diversity over the quality of the comics a lot of the time, and then that creates a problem.
You can create some depth in your characters too.
Yeah,
like focus on like Miles Morales' life outside of it. Don't make it Spider-Man. Make it just him. Like, just Spider-Man.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not...
You don't have to be the same writer for 5 years who's writing that in Silver Surfer. I love Silver Surfer. I'm cool with his books. That's great. Sometimes people run out of ideas. J. Michael Straczynski wrote 5 years of the best Spider-Man books.
And 5 seasons of a very amazing show.
Yeah. It's 5 years.
Babylon 5. Oh, so good.
So good. The third ship disappearing into the time. But we're just using that as examples. Sometimes people run out of ideas, and then they just want a cause. Sometimes you're making the cause up. We do have a cause to deal with right now. It's Emperor Cheeto. Listen, we're doomed. Yeah, we're still arguing amongst each other. We were watching a video of some dude that used to be at this bar called Mars Bar on the subway, yelling racial slurs at people. The
ultimate dive bar.
I got stabbed in that bar. That's how bad that bar was. When I was like 17, that's how you know it was a bad bar. When I'm walking around in there with like a fucking my leather jacket all like beat up.
Yeah.
That dude was a Mars Bar regular. The L train where the guy gets the soup thrown on him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the thing is, though, like, here's the thing. Everybody has edited that video differently. And the only thing that's the same is that dude's a racist asshole. But then they were showing but if you look on other like right-wing episodes, they show the later parts where he gets robbed, they steal his phone, and a white woman hits him over the head with a bottle. And then you know what I mean. But they don't show the parts where he screams all these racial obscenities in the very beginning. Yeah. They just show him being face to face and then saying racial obscenities. He started all of that. And you also have to show the entire fucking video. No, but
you have to see everything. You can't just you can't just be like
country. Yeah, because you saw that black guy who got beat up by like 6 white dudes in Charlottesville.
Yeah,
and they put a warrant for his arrest for defending himself. 6 people were beating this guy with bats and pipes or whatever the hell they could find. And then he gets told, "Oh, here's a warrant for your arrest." It's the same thing that happened here in New York, man. It's just Your OV's gonna get screwed here.
Shit,
The best thing you
shit
do,
like that is gonna
stand
happen.
up for yourself because it's better. It's better to like defend yourself and survive. But people are nuts. People are nuts. New York is full of crazy people.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not a microcosm of the whole country because we have 8 million people. We're just everybody's nuts.
Yeah,
Everybody's nuts. Every time I hear some dude from Virginia,
I would say
online,
that we're definitely in a fucking bubble.
we are a bubble because
we're
like
part of the East Coast.
because you don't hear
Democrat.
racism out here. But you also don't see a lot, but you see some good people outside of here too. There's a lot of good people across America's awesome.
Yeah.
But you know, like there's always
we don't represent the rest of the country. We're only in we're part of the big cities. Like I have no idea what it's like in rural America. It's a completely different mindset. They're completely different.
I went
to
Texas and I didn't like the taste of water.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Supposedly we have the best tasting water here. So like
best water,
we're the best.
Okay, nobody gets that.
Nobody's getting inside joke.
Yeah. So is there
yeah, like we don't represent like we have a different mindset than like somebody that's in like rural fucking Georgia or like in somewhere like South Dakota or into Oregon. Like there's no problem with that. It's just that like I said, we're in a bubble, so we have it's not the same thing. People think differently. Like that's why I had a problem when people started saying, "Oh, everyone who's voting for Trump is a racist." No, that's not true because you're literally saying that like 75% of the entire country is racist.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like no. There was definitely racists that voted for him. There's no question about that. And there's definitely like he probably knew that. I'm sure that he's not stupid.
We also know a lot of stupid people that voted for him are like, man, we fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, he's an idiot. You know what I mean? Like both. But the thing is that this had to be like the worst pick of candidates in fucking history because both of them were fucking atrocious.
Yeah, that's a whole nother episode.
That's a completely. That's going off the tangent.
But we're wrapping it up.
So 31 minutes, 32 minutes.
We're Mute Metal Maniacs. I'm Billy Bombs.
I'm Abe Von Doom.
And if you have a problem with anything we said today, you can fucking find us.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Go fuck yourselves. Go fuck your father.